everybody. Welcome to All That Matters and More. Ikamala Mugudu.
And I'm Komike, and welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. But before we dive right into it, we just need to give you guys a quick disclaimer and to let you know that the content we will be providing today is for entertainment, educational and informative purposes.
Yes, guys, the opinions and recommendations provided by us should be by no means considered as medical or professional advice.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks
I'm
yourself.
well, thank you. Can't complain.
I know, that's right. But yes, guys, as you know, this is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month.
Yes.
And yeah, man, celebrated on the 10th of September. So literally so excited about this topic because we know that we lose over like 700,000 people due to suicide.
Yeah.
And it would be nice just to have the chat to say, listen, if you're going through this, how can you help yourself or better equip yourself, or what sources do we have out there that can assist you?
Yeah, 110%. And I think that obviously with everything that's going on and with us feeling like so overwhelmed, guys, it's so important, I think, to touch on every disorder and obviously to touch on every mental illness that is going on. And suicide is a mental illness, even though it can stem from results of, let's say, for example, depression, and then the end result is suicide,
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty good that we are talking about this, and also just to give our viewers preventative measures as well, and how they can handle somebody who is either suicidal or they are thinking now of like going into the phase of suicide.
Yeah. And I think the great place to start is to say, what is suicide? So suicide is the taking of your own life.
Yeah.
When you kill yourself, then you've committed suicide.
Yeah. And I think with suicide specifically, people don't understand is that there is like factors, certain elements to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So things such as like your physical being will probably change, your environmental being as well. Mm-hmm. And also when I was doing research, like guys, the power of the tongue and what you say to somebody who either like is suicidal or is going through suicide. Like for me, that was insane because I'm just like, you know what, you could say something and that could topple that person over.
Exactly.
And I think that with suicide, another thing that we don't understand, or rather people don't get, is that like it's actually a long process. You don't wake up and decide, well, you know what, I'm going to kill myself today. It's a long process where somebody sits there like, okay, how am I going to kill myself where no one can find me? How can I find a spot to kill myself? Just like things like that. You plan it out, just like a whole process. So I think suicide it's scary because it seems like the numbers are rising, and it's like we need to kind of combat it, before it gets worse.
True, because it's like you just touched on, it's a build-up of a lot of things.
Yeah.
And we can never say one element or one factor is the reason or the cause for somebody experiencing suicidal ideation.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing is to say that, what can we do? Because I know when you're saying, like, I had a friend, I think a few years back, and she was going through something, and I think, she was just really at a point where she wanted to take her life, and we all kind of knew it for a while. And then this one time, I think she texted me. She's like, I think I'm going to do it.
Really?
And, yeah, but I was so like out of it because I'm like, you know what? You have your own problems. I have my own problems too. And I was like, you know what? Time is running. Just make it quick. And I realized how I was so insensitive, and she had to sit, because I knew at that point that she wasn't going to do it. But because she had been sort of like threatening it around us, and it's like, listen, we love you, we care for you, and we're all going through our own emotions, but, just kind of understand. And truth is, when somebody's going through that, they're not literally zoned into what's happening around them or what's happening with the people around them. So for me, that was very insensitive, whereas I could have literally had a conversation with my friends to figure out what's the real cause, what's the real root, to understand where they're coming from and not be as harsh as I was. Although did something come from it? Yes, she didn't take her life, but I could have handled the situation better.
Yeah, because I get where you're coming from. Now it's like, what if she had taken her life,
Yeah, I would have been shit, man.
No, I can understand. And then now you sit and harboring all those feelings, which is not obviously a good thing. Have you had suicidal thoughts before?
Surprisingly, no.
Really?
No, I've never. No, I know there's things in life that we go through that are like so hard. Like obviously, we can't talk about our life like But I've been through so many things, and I've just never wanted to take my life because I just have it that I'm like destined for something great, and I'd be like doing an injustice, not only to our viewers, I'm kidding, but just like an injustice to myself and to my mom. I'm an only child, an injustice to my family. So I would never want to, and I don't want to say suicide is selfish. Let's just put it out there. But I would never want to do that to people that have put so much and invested so much in me.
Yeah.
And I've always invested so much to myself because I always describe myself as an asset. So I see myself as an asset. I see value in me. So I would, regardless of what's happening, I think it's just that, as a man thinketh, so he is. So what we say to ourselves and what we speak upon our lives determines what happens with our lives. So I don't know. Have you?
Maybe sometimes.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie, yes, girl. Like when things are really tough and you're down and out. I think for me it just stemmed from, I was just so tired. It's like, why do I keep waking up, I keep pushing, but nothing is coming from it. Like, why am I not, getting to where I need to get to? Has it been like suicidal thoughts? I think I've maybe thought of it and like how I would want to do it.
What did you have in mind? What did you have in mind?
I'm keeping that one in my subconscious.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll keep that one. Don't do it for another day. But no, man, I don't think I honestly speaking, I would not do it. First and foremost, I have a lot of resources. That's what I've told myself. For me to go do something, that means that honestly speaking, you are right, I would have been selfish, and not just only that, I would have given up on myself. And I would have not tried hard enough, For me, the resources are there. I'm going to be honest. Somebody who doesn't have those resources, I do have those resources. Yeah. I do have somebody I can call up to get assistance, There are also somewhat of funds where I can go to a doctor, where I do have a privilege to go to a doctor and seek the professional help that I need, I just think for me, it's just, girl, there's a point in my life where things were like very shaky. And I'm not going to lie, it's been this year. So there's just a time where I was so tired, dude. Like, I was like, I really cannot do this anymore. And I'm like, but it's pointless for you to wake up every day and not to get where you want to get to. And that's like my own personal thing. Because you are right, people go through different things, Your suicide idea or thought may be a thing of, it comes from a disorder like depression, or it can come from things such as like financially you're not okay, trauma, or there's just heavy burden on you, or you're just not okay with yourself and you cannot dig yourself out of that dark hole, Excuse me. So have I had thoughts? Yes, I'm not gonna lie, I've had thoughts, okay? Yeah. But they haven't been extreme to a point where now I'm gonna do it. I think I just become so busy.
You premeditated every single step of how you're going to do it.
Sometimes when you dabble in that, your mind just goes to a place where it's not supposed to go. Let me just put it that way. I know that's a little bit deep, dark, but yeah, my mind has gone there because I think I was just at a point where I was just so tired. And, when sleep doesn't even do what it's supposed to do for you, I was just like, I just need to just like rest. I just need a break for like 2 minutes and then pick myself up and go again, But I think... I'm exactly the same with you. I think that my purpose is a lot more greater. I think that it would be... I don't know if what I'm going to say is...
No, say it, my girl. Take it off your chest.
You know what I'm saying? I think that it would be a lot more rewarding if God fetches me.
True.
In my opinion, that would be a lot more rewarding for me because that means that my purpose is done, Yeah. And now he's saying that it's time for me to go home. So I think for me, that would be a lot more rewarding in that case. And I think, hey, girl, you are right. We need a push, man.
No, 100.
I think 50 Cent was right. Keep trying, like die, like he was so right in saying, I'm so sorry, I'm losing my train of thought there. But I would rather know that I've tried and die. Like, it would be so much more rewarding when you know that you've died trying everything, even though you didn't get to where you got to. But at least you were getting up, you were pushing, you were... you were doing what you needed to do for yourself in order for you to get to where you need to get to.
Get rich or die trying.
Yeah. So I think that's like that. It is for me. When you say that, I completely get it because 110% exactly the same.
Have you lost somebody due to suicide?
Actually, I haven't. I do know of people who have unfortunately been through that path. For them, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't as it was as deep as mine is. For me, it was just, I was just tired. I could have just taken a break, For them, it was very bad. One of my friends was actually going through depression. And unfortunately, one of my cousins, their situation is not as good as ours. So I think it had just gotten to a point as well where, he was going to commit suicide. Fortunately, actually, when my mom was telling me the story, somebody had stopped him. There's somebody who just knocked to check up on him and then found him. And he's like, no, dude, like, what are you doing? Let's just like go take a walk and take a break. So I haven't lost anybody, you know. I wouldn't want to lose anybody to that, because then it would be devastating to think that also we couldn't help them as much as we are also going through our own things, but just a little bit of help, just a little bit of affirmation towards them, and to obviously assist them, be like, where are you lacking, where you're not well equipped in terms of finding the right type of resources for yourself, you know?
100.
Yeah. And what about you?
I don't think I have. I think I've heard people around, you know, who lost somebody due to it. And I think it's just that, you know, a lot of people would say, oh, I didn't know. You know, I didn't know. But the thing is, we do see change in patterns, change in behavior. And I think a lot of people will be like, oh, but he was smiling, you know, or no, but, you know, we just had an awesome conversation, we went out. And that's not necessarily always the case. So it's just that we need to be, as people, we need to be very attentive, you know. And for somebody who's experiencing sort of like mental stress, you know, and it's just like, how can you better cope with it, guys? Talking is key. You know, talking is key. And whether you are not comfortable talking to a therapist or your priest, but you need to go out there and have a conversation with somebody so that you don't bottle everything up. So it amounts to a point where you have no control over it, you know. So don't ever feel like you're alone.
Yeah. And I think it's so significant that you say that, because I think with suicide as well, it also has that element of putting a brave face. Okay? Guys, we don't know what people are thinking 110% of the time. We are all going through our own things. Unfortunately, the unfortunate thing about life is that even though we're going through the things that we're going through, you have to get up and move. That's the sad thing about it, unfortunately, guys. And it's always going to be like that, you know, but it's how you get up and you do move. And I think suicide also has that thing of, let me put a brave face, let me smile, you know, let me laugh, let me go grab that cup of coffee with doo-doo, you know. Let's come shoot. There are people as well that are shooting that are going through the most. So I think, obviously, guys, with that as well, like, don't always put up a brave face to a point as well where you feel as if though now, like, you are actually ignoring what you're supposed to be dealing with. And you're also kind of sitting in that moment of, okay, but everything is okay, I'm happy. No, everything is not okay, you're not happy. You need to deal with those emotions. You need to deal with the issue of suicide and suicide ideation, you know. You have to find ways in order for you to help yourself, guys, in order for you to get better. You know, I think everybody is deserving of a very beautiful life. Everybody deserves to not want to kill themselves, you know, to not get to that point where their problems are so overwhelming.
No, guys, and that's not it. So just to touch on quickly in terms of preventative measures. You know, like I've mentioned, you know, seeking therapists, but also just reminding you, like, early morning mantras work. You know, early morning mantras work. Definitely exercise, guys. Just get those hormones running. So I'm going to leave Kamiki to continue on that.
Talking, like you're saying, I think it's really good, guys. Dealing with your problems, guys. If you have a problem, it's okay. We all do have problems. Identify it and deal with it. Find the right type of resources in order for you to deal with it effectively, and for it to be, for you to just kind of get better help in the long run. So it should be a short-term thing. It must be a long-term thing where you know that obviously you're not going to go back to that place that you were in. And I guess basically seeking support all the time, wherever you are. I don't know if, like, at work, guys, you need to seek support as well. At home, in your friendship groups as well, in the environments that you're in. And just always making sure that you put yourself first, you do take care of yourself, and it will be okay. Everything is okay eventually.
Because you matter at the end of the day, and there's a reason why you're here. So yes, guys, that's it from us. If you have any more questions or you'd like to continue the conversation further, you can email us at imatterandmore. I'm wrong. At info@mattersandmore.co.za.
Okay, guys, and then also if you definitely want to check us out on Instagram, please do so. Thank you so much for the engagement, guys. Please engage with us a lot more. We want to hear you guys' views, and on Instagram, Matters and More. YouTube as well. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe when you do get a bit of time. Matters and More as well.
And that's it, guys.